Hi everybody, it's time for us to make our carrier bag. Now the first thing you need to know is for this carrier bag you can either use brown paper, wallpaper, pink paper, white paper, craft paper, newspaper, whatever paper you want as long as it's able to hold the weight of whatever you're putting in it. So you'll be needing top bond, which is also called your PVA glue for this. For this, I'm going to be using the centimeter part of my ruler. So what I'm doing is measuring about 8 centimeters on my craft paper. When I do that, I'm going to fold it. So watch closely and see what I'm doing. Okay, so I've gotten the 8 centimeter mark on my craft paper and I'm just folding it. The essence of folding is I'm going to fold the other part to come and meet this one. I hope that English is correct. But if it's not, I'm sure you understand perfectly well what I'm saying. So I'm going to fold it, and when you do that, because craft paper is kind of thick, if you know what calendar paper feels like, think about 3 times the thickness of calendar paper. That's what craft paper feels like. So I'm going to ensure that I fold it and let it fold very, very well. I'll make use of something. I'm trying to press exactly. So you need to press that part down very, very well. Please don't mind me because I'm going to be using my comb to do that part to ensure that there's a crease there. Exactly. So ensure you do the same thing with your wallpaper. If you're using wallpaper, if you're using pink paper, brown paper, whatever paper you're using, ensure that it is folded in properly. When I'm done, I'm going to be applying my top bond glue, which is also called PVA glue, and it's also called white glue. So I'm going to be taking my makeshift spatula made out of straw board and apply some generous helping of top bond glue. Please pardon me. And then watch what I'm going to do next. After applying your PVA glue, white glue or your top bond glue, I'm going to take the other end of my craft paper and just seal it together with this end. I hope you understand that part very, very well. It's actually kind of easy to do if you ask me. So once you've done that, put some pressure to ensure that the top bond seals both sides of the paper together, and then wait a little bit for it to get dried. After that, we move on to the next step. Now, once that side of the paper is dried, the next thing you're going to do is ensure that you press the other side down. Can you see how it looks like a balloon? Well, we have to flatten that balloon. So press it down very well. And if you have a comb like me, you can use your comb to ensure that that part is smooth, like really, really smooth. Okay guys, watch closely. Now, the next thing we're going to do is fold the bottom part of our carrier bag. So now I'm going to measure on my paper. Now, you can do whatever measurement you want. I always advise people to experiment with their own measurements. I like for my carrier bag to not be too long and have a very, wide bottom. You understand what I'm trying to say. So I'm going to be measuring about 10 inches on one side, and I'm going to mark it using that comb. You can use a pencil, but I prefer to use that comb because it's just going to give it it's not going to give it a dent like a biro or a paper or pencil dent. So I'm just going to use that comb to mark it. Can you see that shape it gave it there? Exactly. Next thing I'm going to do is fold upwards. Watch closely to see what I'm doing. Thank you again for joining the class. If you have any questions, please drop them on the discussion group and I'll attend to you. So the minute you fold upward, press down again to ensure that you smoothing out. Now, after you've folded upward and smoothened it out, the next step is for you to fold. Just watch the way I'm folding now. Fold the first part down like that, smoothing out. Now fold the second part down. Exactly. Just like that. I hope you got that. So the next thing you want to do is open that part that we folded into two. Just watch. I'm going to flip it over now so you can see it properly. I flipped it over. Open it, put your hands inside, open it, and then press down. The minute you press down, you're going to have one side on the left and one side on the right. So as usual, I'll be using my comb to smoothen out that crease so that it's going to be very, very firm. The next thing you're going to do is fold one part and fold the other part. Now watch closely. Alright, so you see that part that looks like a triangle? I'm going to fold it down. Ensure that you're not folding everything all the way, just a little part of it. Can you see that? Just a little part of it. Once you're done, press down and smoothen out the lines very well, because that part is going to serve as the bottom of your carrier box. I hope you've understood the process that I have taken to get to this point. If you don't understand, please don't forget to drop your questions in the group discussion page so that we can talk about it. Now I'm doing the same thing to the other parts. Can you see that? Now if you notice, this craft paper is kind of strong, but if you're using wallpaper, it's not as strong as craft paper. Same thing with brown paper. So this one it has some weight, you know, it has some weight, not so much, but some weight, because it's sturdy too. All right, so I'm almost done with this process. Exactly. Can you see that part? The next thing I'm going to do is apply my PVA glue, which is also known as top bond and white glue. Don't forget to follow me on all my social media platforms at Zofa Headwear on Instagram, Zofa Headwear on Facebook, and if you want to follow my personal page is Olufemi_Adu. We are going to take our top bond and apply it to that triangle part. Watch closely. I'm not applying it to every part of the triangle, just the edge of that triangle. So please watch very, very closely. Can you see that part? Just that edge, the first part and the second part. Okay, so apply it generously, please, because you don't want a situation where you put something in it and the thing falls out from the bottom of the bag. So apply it to the edge. When you're done applying it to the edge, press down and then do the same thing to the other side. And when you're done, you just have to put something on it. If it's like this craft paper that is kind of thick, but if you're using wallpaper or brown paper or pink paper or white paper or newspaper, whichever one you're using that is not as strong as this, just leave it. It will get dry on its own. But for this particular type of paper, I'm going to be placing something on top of it so that it gets dried. Okay guys, so let's keep watching. Okay, so when you're done applying your PVA glue, like I stated earlier, just press down and press down. So you press the first part down and then you're using the other part to cover it. You know the way an envelope closes here? That's how you're closing the bottom of this carrier bag. Alright guys, I've put something on it so it gets dried. See you in the next step.